What about now? Can you hear it now? Any audio now on YouTube? Shows I've got the right mic. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right, so if you didn't hear me, just going over the markets here. Did a couple trades this morning. One hit profit target. A couple did not. Did a couple day trades. Did one in Tesla, small winner. One in Meta, small loser. So kind of a scratch day on my directionals. Yeah, I don't know, Moel. I'm kind of considering it, but then I think, okay, I'm only considering it because the trade is currently at a loss, right? And I'm simply just praying for a bounce. So most likely scenario is we're going to get a bounce, I think. You know, we gapped up into all-time highs. We kind of did a head fake, sold off all the way down to the lower expected move in SPX. I wouldn't doubt if we've kind of initially flush and bounce, or, you know, rip higher and kind of get back into the expected move range. But I kind of look at it like, if I didn't have this position on, would I put a bullish position on going into FOMC? The answer is no, right? So why would I hold a losing trade hoping for a bounce? If it does sell off hard and I'm wrong about my 50-50 theory, then I'll be mad at myself for being an idiot. So those are the thoughts that have gone through my head today, Moel. By the way, Lando, I'm not monitoring the YouTube, so if you do see any questions come in on the chat, let me know, please. The first screen hit profit target fairly quickly, and the other one looked like it was going to, but then we just started selling off, and literally needed about another 5-point bounce when we were kind of chopping at the beginning of the day. Probably would have hit that 10% profit target. Unfortunately, sold off first. Yeah, so here are the two that I have on. And maybe I'll keep one of the tranches, the closest one, but here's the first one that I put on in the morning. You know, if we get a bounce, it's going to print. You know, those 0DT options are going to get premium sucked out. We have PPI on the 2-day options, so those will probably stay bid a little bit more. And then here's the one that I added. So this one's pretty close. So, you know, I could hold that. I'm not opposed to holding that one. So we've got about 9 minutes. I am going to do an FOMC iron condor. So I'm going to enter at the $4 strike on the shorts, and I'm going to do 60 wide wings. I'm only going to do a 2-lot. It's only 60 wide, which is really, really narrow. I mean, typically we're seeing anywhere from 80 to 120 wide between the shorts if you're targeting the $4 strikes. Right before FOMC, the volatility is down. We've also seen the VIX, you know, when the S&P just bounced a tiny bit, we're seeing the VIX go from 17.2 all the way down to 16.6. So already getting a vol contraction. There's just not a lot of premium in there for the amount of risk, in my opinion. So I'm gonna do it pretty small. So I'll put that on here in about 5 minutes. And then most importantly, the biggest thing for today is I've got my bets on Kalshi. What will Jay Powell say during his press conference? I picked 5 words or phrases that he would use: dot plot, yield curve, volatility, median, and credit. So if all those hit, I did $100 on each one. If all of those hit, total payout would be $19.61. So let's go, J-Pow. Talk it up. Anybody else? I know Naughty Dog took some J-Pow sayings. Anybody else jump on the Kalshi train today? Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I funded my Kalshi account this morning with $1,000, and I've got 500 at risk today. So I'm risking 50% of my portfolio. Also, another very solid thing that you should do as a trader: always risk at least 50% of your portfolio. For those of you who can't sense the sarcasm, that was totally sarcastic. Just having a little fun. Just having a little fun with J-Pow. In fact, let me get my TV up here. All right, I got my CNBC on over here just to see what J-Pow's tie looks like today. You still have time, Moel. Press conference doesn't start for another 35 minutes. It took me about 4 minutes to open the account and get it funded. All right, got about 5 minutes. I am going to close my first screen. I'm gonna let my second one ride. Wait, what just happened? Oh, well, never mind. I forgot I had a timed exit on that, and so they just closed. So both of my screens closed. Let me get those posted in the trade channel. I'm okay with that. That's probably the right thing to do. All right, so FOMC Iron Condor going in, $4 strikes, 60 wide wings. Filled at $7 even. Short strikes are the 7,000 calls and the 69.40 puts. So there's what that looks like. The other thing that I do that I wouldn't necessarily recommend is I do take off the stop. Sometimes you get some whippy action. You could get spiked out, but you better be okay with the risk you're taking. With 60 wide wings just on a 2-lot, I mean, we're talking, over 10K of real risk. So if you're not comfortable with that, then make sure you do use a stop. But This is what I'm doing. And so for anyone here who's new or is wondering kind of why I'm doing this, the logic is the FOMC interest rate decision data comes out in 2 minutes. Usually what happens is the data comes out, you get a nice premium crush. So the options decrease in value. And as long as price stays in the range of the iron condor, you get some really quick premium decay. And so that's the idea. Now, obviously the risk is an outsized move. If there's some type of surprise in the transcript or the release, you know, right now there's a 97% chance that rates stay unchanged. A lot of the movement will have to do with the wording of kind of future of what's going on, forward-looking statements. But a lot of times it just kind of stays in the range. You get a nice premium decay, and we're in and out of the trade in about 30 minutes, sometimes getting as much as 30 or 40% of the credit received. So now we wait. As far as individual stocks go, well, by the way, gold and silver on the move today. Gold's up another 4%. Silver's up 5%. 10-year yield is a little bit green, up about 0.69. Oil's up 1%. Natural gas is down 2%. Bitcoin pretty unchanged. So we will see what happens here when the data gets released. Then the other trade that I'll plan to take today is actually buying premium. So kind of the opposite of an iron condor. I'm going to buy a 30 delta strangle after the press conference starts. Logic behind that is the premium's been getting sucked out at that point. Options are getting cheaper. Buying premium in anticipation that Powell may say something that moves the market, targeting about a 35% profit target on that trade, but that'll be a little bit later. All right, so data is out. And so you can see what happened. The market didn't even move. And look at that premium decay. I'm already up 25% on the iron condor. Now we could still move, but pretty quick premium crush when that data came out. S&P bouncing. S&P going green. So I just did a 2 lot. I'll take one of them off if I hit 30%. It's at about 25 right now. Let's do this. Put this here. Put SPX and VIX here. So had I held my original ratio diagonal, it would still be pretty red. S&P kind of dipping back down again. The one that I added would be at about break even. Just a little bounce would help those for sure, but we are not bouncing now. That is real, JR. Yeah, that's the kind of crush that you see pretty quickly. The options premium just gets sucked out of those because now all the uncertainty is out. So the premiums just get sucked out. And we've had a pretty muted move. So S&P tried to go green, get shut back down. It's hovering right at the lower expected move for the day. We're just kind of been bouncing all day, all morning. I have it marked right at this 69 level. VIX, a little bit of a bounce back up to 16.75. My iron condor is hovering right around 20 to 25% profit right now. If we get a little bit of a bounce again, those premiums will really get sucked out. Here. As far as individual stocks go, biggest mover on my board is up 10% Intel. SNDK is up 8, OKLO is up 7, MU's up 5, new all-time highs today in MU and SNDK. United Healthcare finally getting a little bounce. NVIDIA's up almost 2% on the red side. CVNA, Carvana, is down 19%. No earnings or anything. Carvana's getting hit. Affirm down almost 5. Iron Condor is still sitting right at about 27% profit. I want over 30 before I take any off. Yeah, and then in addition to FOMC, we've got some big earnings from 3 big boys. After the bell, Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla. And then before the market opens tomorrow, MasterCard, Caterpillar. Thursday after the bell, Apple, SNDK, and Visa. Friday before the open, SoFi, and a couple oil companies, Chevron and Exxon. UNH. What's the price of UNH? It's 293. So that's priced too high for my portfolio. So the portfolio size that I'm using for the wheel is 100,000, and I don't want to use more than 15% for any one position. So that would cost me about 30,000 for a one lot. So can't do that one. So it's got to be anything under 150 bucks is really kind of the target for that portfolio. Well, price hasn't moved, but premium decay is kind of stalled out. I'm going to close one of my iron condors here. Get that posted. All right, so I'll hold the remaining one until closer to the presser, which starts in about a little over 20 minutes. So going back to my first ratio diagonal, that one would still be pretty deep in the red. The one that I added, I would think would be close to, yeah, still break even. They could both still be profitable. Elliot, what time did you get in to the one you were talking about that you were up $8 on it? You must have got in like, oh, near the open? Oh, is that the one you messed up your strikes on? Oh, okay. Nice error. I love a good profitable error. Those are fun. Yeah, still around 25%. So we got like 20, 25, 30% right off the bat. And it's just kind of sitting there now. It's not really, it's kind of holding the rest of the premium for now. All right. Well, we can, I'm going to dip into my Celsius a little early, going with the fizz-free raspberry acai today. I'll let you guys hear the open. Oh, doesn't that sound refreshing? Fizz free. No carbonation. I like the ones with carbonation are too sweet. I like the ones with green tea. Fizz free green tea. VIX continuing to fall. It's down to almost down to 16.5. Iron Condor still centered, but still around 25%. Okay, so the 3 earnings today, we've got Meta. I'm bullish on Meta. I would probably do a bullish fly on Meta. What did I say? Meta, Microsoft and Tesla. Microsoft's been on the rise as well. Tesla's been a little choppier. But I think I'm gonna do a bullish fly on all 3 of those, but I'm gonna wait closer to the end of the day. I mean, I usually, like I did this earlier, I just kind of zoom out on the daily chart and just kind of look at what price did over the last few earnings. But the biggest emphasis I use is I just kind of take what my bias is in the overall market and go that direction. Well, I would say, Brandon, if you know that, so does everybody else on Wall Street. So that should already be priced in. I don't know. I've actually seen reports though along those lines that they've actually been cutting a lot of, like, their whole metaverse deal that they had going for a while. They just slashed a bunch of that. So who knows? They may be a little bit more in cost cutting mode now. But none of that plays into anything whatsoever in my decision making on an earnings trade. Well, my call sheet bets are already moving. The presser hasn't even started. I'm already up $26. Should I sell? I could sell now. I make 26 bucks. So the way I'm reading this, so well, no, that doesn't make sense either. I was trying to figure out how they're doing this. Like, I assume the green ones meant they're more valuable than when I bought them. The white ones, they're down a little bit, but that doesn't add up. So I don't know. I'm not sure how Kalshi does this. I mean, this is one of the smallest moves after an FOMC announcement that I've seen. A high of 79, a low of 65. 14-point move so far. That is pretty narrow for the data release. I'm going to go ahead and close the rest of my iron condors. It's still sitting at 25, 26%. Just right in the center. Any kind of movement's going to take profit away, and it just doesn't look like doesn't look like they're really ready to give away any more premium at this point. Close that, filled at 520, which is the same price I got filled on the other piece of it. All right, so now the plan is the way that I used to trade the long strangle was per the back test was 5 minutes after the press conference started. But I'm going to be a little bit more discretionary. I'm just going to kind of watch price action and decide when I want to get in. I just did one Rick yesterday. It wasn't a max loss, but it wasn't a winner. It was a small loser. A little over 10 minutes until the press conference starts. Yeah, the expected move was very low today. I almost passed on the iron condor just because the expected move was so low, the width between the shorts was so low. Still, so now SPX is showing about a 25, 26 point expected move by the end of the day. Well, are you still holding your crean? Brave man. You're a brave man. Saw your text, Lando. Let me try that. I saw where I could change that before I started, but I don't know that I can adjust the video quality in the middle here. I'm trying to find if there's a way to do that, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's disabled while streaming live. So yeah, I'll have to do that beforehand next time. Does it not look that good a quality on YouTube? Where's Naughty Dog? Naughty Dog was supposed to be my my call sheet buddy today. Oh, there he is. So what do you got? What do you got, J Pal, saying today? I've got dot plot, yield curve, volatility, median, and credit. Volatility. Okay, we're both on the volatility train. Softening. Yeah, I like that one too. That's kind of a JPOW term, it seems like. I think that one was pretty not very good payout, like pretty likely that he would say it, right? Let's see. I think dual mandate would have been 100%. Yeah, good afternoon. That was another 99%er. Let's see. Well, now I can't find it. Oh yeah, here we go. So there's a 97% chance that he says expectation, 97% chance he says good afternoon. Oh, if I was JPOW, I'd be all over this. I would just be messing with people. I'd say good morning. I would say things haven't changed much. 97% unchanged, 97% balance of risk. Balance of risk, huh? If I bet $100 that he does not say balance of risk, it's going to pay $11.71. I think I like that. Balance of risk? Does he always say that? I don't remember him saying that. Just jumped up to 1,400. I'm taking balance of risk for no for $100. Boom. Balance of risk. Okay. The lowest probability ones are egg, trade war, Bitcoin, stagflation, national debt, ADP, soft landing, anchor, lawsuit. I took yield curve, which is pretty low. Gold, gas or gasoline or natural gas, dot plot is pretty low. I feel like he likes to say dot plot though. See, I remember him saying dot plot. 9 then it kind of scales up from there. Volatility is only 37%. Median's only 38%. I took both of those. Credit is 61%. That was the highest probability one I took, was 63% that he would say credit. Subpoena? Well, yeah, I just think he, I feel like he wants to stay away from that kind of terminology. It's like Trump is on there. I don't think he's going to say Trump. Lawsuit. Yeah, I think he'd try to stay away from those. Unless he was forced with a question. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's going to get questioned about it. I just think he's going to say, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to talk about that. I like that balance of risk bet. I'm a no on the balance of risk. I think that's a winner. I think we got a winner. S&P is still chopping, zero movement here. Should be taking the podium here anytime now. It's not walking out yet. So you bet no on good afternoon, but that only pays. Oh, and no. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's big. 32-1. I like it. I like those kind of long shots, Naughty Dog. First words out of his mouth. Good afternoon. He's got his nice deep purple tie on. S&P bouncing. Oh yeah, I bet Creans are doing okay now. Yep. Good hold, Moel. Not much follow through on that bounce yet. My bets just got more valuable. I'm up 123% on my balance of risk trade. If I cashed out now, just jumped up to 460%. Yeah, probably bid ask spread is probably a little wide on that one. I mean, I might just become a full-time prediction market specialist, depending on how this goes. Yeah, so if you go to social and you go to, where is it that you can see everybody's? I thought it was under social. There's somewhere where you can see everybody's, where you can see everybody, like people will post their lifetime winnings, and yeah, there's some there's some interesting numbers on there. Live? No. Naughty Dog, do you remember? Where do you see everybody's? Did he just say balance of risk? Yeah, he didn't say it yet. Oh, maybe. Well, shows I'm down 91%. Maybe he did say it. Or whoa, that was a short one, Jay Powell. He's already taking questions. I don't know if that counts or not. I think Kalshi's kind of confused too because it's down big, but not 100%. So I might have to file an appeal on that one. Balance of risk is not the same as risk. Yeah, you can get out. I don't know about limit orders. You can get out wherever it's trading though. Yeah, I think they're counting that as balance of risk. I didn't hear him say it. I'm going to file an appeal on that one. Dot plot jumped up for some reason. Did he say that? I'm filing an appeal. Bust this trade. Kalshi course coming, Tommy. Back to the real markets, they are doing absolutely nothing. Thank goodness we have Kalshi to actually do something with, because these markets are boring. I think that was the shortest. They should have it like a. They should have a bet on how long his speech will be, because that was probably the shortest speech he's ever given. He's like, is this his last one? Is he out after this one? Or does he have one more? End of this month, done. Yeah, he's not answering any questions. He's referring people to the video he made about the overspending on the build out. As far as Rick is now in the lead for the potential new Fed chair position. Hadn't seen that. Kevin Warsh in second, Christopher Waller in third place. Well, it's if he says it during the Q&A session too, Moel, not just the speech. Naughty Dog, if I see you streaking during a professional sports game, I'm going to know what's going on behind the scenes. You're not going to have to open your mouth. I'm going to know exactly what happened. Volatility just spiked up. The word volatility, that is. Yes. Yes, please do. Balance of risk is sitting at a penny, so he must have said something they're taking as a balance of risk. None of my bets have jumped up, so he hasn't said any of my things yet. Oh, Beige Book, that was a low probability one. S&P still kind of chopping. Keeps coming down and bouncing off the expected move. Right around that 69.70 area. So the question is, do I want to put on a long strangle here? So 30 delta strangle, if I say the 69.85 calls and the, call it 69.55 puts. It's trading for around $9. It's about 30 points wide. would have to make a quick move up to about 69, call it 69.90, or a quick move down to about 69.50. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it yet. All right, Naughty Dog, take care. Yeah, I'll always trade Mahomes on the Fed day if I can get filled. A lot of times, there's been several times where it just never even filled for $2. So we'll see what it's priced at later. But yeah. There's been several times where I got filled like a couple minutes before the bell. I'm going to kind of watch that strangle. But I'm not ready to enter yet. MU just pushed up to a new all-time high. Ticked 436.5. My portfolio is dwindling. He hasn't said anything that I need him to say yet. I'm down 20%. VIX still trading near lows of day, which is right at yesterday's high, yesterday's close. I did not paper trade my Kalshi trades. I just jumped right in. Just jumped in with 60% of my portfolio. Is that not advised, Elliot? I mean, the longer price stays here, the cheaper this strangle is going to get. So I may put it on here pretty soon. So it just dropped over $1 in just the last 5 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a bullish one on all three. Yeah, my late cream would be up about $1,300 or $1,400. Original green would be still red. Would still be down about 2K. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where your risk is, Elliot. If we move down, I guess that's more risk, or is it a big bounce?
Hard to say. And we think our policy's in a good place. But I've just discussed reasons why we might change our policy.
Ooh, nice.
I'm wondering, a minute ago you said your health expectations were consistent with your mandate. The 2 and the 10-year break-evens have moved quite notably in the last couple of weeks, I believe. Is there any concern on that front?
I mean,
yeah, right. I totally forgot I had a timed exit on mine. So I was literally going in to close one and leave my late one open. And it just shut them down. S&P sitting on unchanged for the day from yesterday's close. VIX still coming down.
Apologies if this is a little bit repetitive, but in the past you've said that the reason you cut rates was that the risk to the labor market was greater than the risk to the inflation side. Is that still true?
We haven't made. You're right. We saw the labor market weakening, and we acted. And I think that's the appropriate thing to do. We will always act to
MU still pushing new all-time highs.
Risks to both of the variables are a little less. I think the upside risk of inflation is down a little bit less than the downside risk.
Intel staying strong.
I just would say that I'm not making a judgment about how.
Okay, low still up 10%, pushing new highs of day.
BIS wrote a paper last summer which concluded that global investors were hedging their dollar exposures in ways that previously they hadn't because of policy uncertainty. Do you agree with BIS?
We really don't see much at all about that whole story. There's just not a lot of data that suggests that there's much to that.
Thanks.
Swanson with the New York Times. Can you talk more about what you would need to see in the labor market to conclude it's time to resume easing? Do you need to see further deterioration?
SMH starting to bounce. Starting to see some stocks look like they want to creep higher. Tesla's bouncing.
Certainly, a weakening labor market would be an argument for losing. But what's happening with inflation? If inflation were at the same time getting worse, you just have a very difficult situation there. So we'll be looking at both. Clearly, a weakening labor market calls for cutting. A stronger labor market says that the rates are in a good place. We'll have to be making.
Come on, J Powell, say yield curve. It fits in this conversation.
The market doesn't show further signs of deterioration. Is it a fair chance that you could raise rates rather than simply remaining on hold? What would you need to see to consider hiking?
We don't take things off the table, but it isn't anybody's base case right now. Anybody's base case that the next move will be a rate hike. But ultimately we'll do what we think is the right thing. But that's not where people.
Not opposed to taking a directional trade if I see something, but nothing yet.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. I wanted to ask, you've talked in the past about concerns about the U.S. fiscal trajectory, and we've seen in the Japanese bond market a lot of turmoil recently, in part due to concerns over their fiscal and long-term economic outlook. So do you worry that the U.S. could at some point find itself in a similar situation to Japan, whether for fiscal or demographic reasons?
Over time.
Yeah, MU's on the run. S&DK is about to break highs of day, which is also all-time highs. AVGO is starting to push.
So it's more of an over time thing. The U.S. federal budget deficit is, uncontroversially on an unsustainable path. the level of debt is not unsustainable. It's very much sustainable, but the path is unsustainable. And the sooner we work on it, the better. But you know, right now we're running a very large deficit at essentially full employment, and so the fiscal picture needs to be addressed, and it's not really being addressed. So that's important.
Not one of my words is hit yet. Very disappointing, J-Pal. Very disappointing. All I need is one. All I need is one to hit.
Does it reduce the effect of your rate cuts that longer term rates have overall not really budged that much?
I wouldn't say that. You know, the thing is, I mean, technically, higher longer term rates means less accommodative financial conditions. But remember, many things move with longer term rates. It's not mostly.
This is a setup for a yield curve comment.
Effects of longer term rates from moving our policy around, but you know, it's much more, you know, assessments of the fiscal path and fiscal policies and risks and things like that that move the 10-year. And you can look back at and find periods where we've been very actively moving the policy rate and over the course of a year and over the course of that year.
That was a layup to say yield curve, and he didn't say it.
There's not a tight link between 10-year rates and the overnight rate.
Disappointing, J-Pal. Google's on the move.
More broadly, what would happen to American households if the Federal Reserve loses its ability to operate independent from politics?
So really, the point of independence is not to protect policymakers or anything like that. It just is that
I kind of want to get long something here. I think we're going up based on a lot of these stocks getting bullish. S&P's kind of creeping up to the top of its range. Just don't really have a good setup or level to manage risk around.
Through an election cycle to affect the economy in a way that will be politically worthwhile. So this is I'm not talking about the U.S. context. This is every advanced economy democracy of any size. So it's a good practice. It's pretty much everywhere among countries that look at all like the United States. And I think if you lose that, it's first of all, it will be hard to restore the credibility of the institution. If people lose their faith that we're making decisions, you know,
S&P just chopping around unchanged.
For everyone, for the wide public, rather than trying to benefit one group or another. If you lose that, it's going to be hard to retain. And if we haven't lost it, I don't believe we will. I certainly hope we will. But it's very important, and the reason it's important is that it's enabled central banks generally not to be perfect, but to serve the public well.
We're confident it can maintain that independence at this point.
Yes. I mean, I'm strongly committed to that, and so are my colleagues.
Archie Morgan, The Economist. On that sort of stabilization of the labour market question, how much do you see the weakening we saw in the past 6 months, a year, as a kind of data mirage around immigration, the government shutdown and so on, it's now resolved? Or how much do we see the kind of real underlying coming up in the state of the labour market, do you think?
Well, part of it is, to your point, part of it just is that labor supply, growth in labor supply has come to essentially a halt from a fairly fast clip of growth over the last couple of years, driven by immigration, and then the halt being driven by a very sudden stop in immigration. So many outcomes were possible with that. Supply came way down. It turns out that demand for labor also came
That same 30 Delta Strangle that was trading at $9
a little bit more, which is why the unemployment rate has gone up. So
a little bit ago is now at 6.
that's what's happened with that part. But if you look at other things, like for example, just to pick a couple, the conference boards.
If I did a 30 Delta Strangle right now, I'd be trading for around 8 with new strikes.
It shows the survey showing indication of softening. People, part-time for economic reasons, was a category within the broader V6 category measure, has moved up significantly. So there's actually
I might take a long call vertical in SPX here.
has softened. But you're right, part of payroll job softening is that both the supply and
Feels like we're going up based on kind of a lot of these stocks here. I'm going to go long put vertical or long call vertical.
So imagine they both came down a lot to the point where there is no job growth. Is that full employment? And in a sense, it is. If demand and supply are in balance, that you could say that's full employment. At the same time, do we really feel like that's a maximum employment climate? It's very challenging and quite unusual situation.
Thanks. And then more on growth and the kind of strong growth outlook, your strong growth outlook.
All right, so that's 15 wide. Let me get that posted in the day trade channel just to have it. Post it here and no, it's a long call vertical. Here's the. It's in my other account. Let me get it posted. Let me get it up here so the YouTubers can see.
Although it's uneven across income categories, but consumer spending overall numbers are good, and we're benefiting from the AI build out of data centers. That's another thing we're benefiting from. But the economy overall, the growth is on a solid footing. It looks like, and it's not just those things. It's just the consumers filling out surveys that sound really negative and then spending. So there's been a disconnect for some time between downbeat surveys and reasonably good spending.
So it's this one here. Bought the 69.80, sold the 69.95. Looking for a bounce here in SPX. So a little bit of an out of the money long call vertical.
Consumers seem to be driving so much of the economy, and why so many families still
better risk reward if you buy out of the money long call vertical. If I think price is just going to continue to chop potentially for a while, I'll sell an out of the money put vertical. So there's no right or wrong. It's just kind of what my logic is. If we bounce, we start to really bounce. We've been chopping here for so long that I think at some point we're going to kind of move out of here. And so I'd rather get more bang for the buck on an out of the money long call vertical where my risk is less. So if we go below lows of day, I'm risking what my debit was. But if it starts to push, then, on this one on a 5 lot, I've got a max risk of 23.50, max profit of 51.50. So higher profit versus loss. Yeah, Trader Boy. Yes, register. It's going to be available for paid members as well as some free members. We invited some other folks too. But yeah, make sure you register. S&P trying to go green again. Let's see if we can break out of this little chop fest. Yeah, gold and silver still pumping. Gold up over 4.5%, silver up over 8% today. 85. Woo! So yeah, let's see what mine are. See what mine would have been, I should say. So this is my original one this morning. It would be back to almost break even. And then my late one would be nicely in the profit. Yeah, it'd be up about 3K. But we haven't moved much, which is this is pretty abnormal. Moel, you still got your cream? Nice. Nice hold, boys. Nice hold. Still less than a 15-point move since the release. That is tiny. Guess the options had it right. We all thought it was a low expected move, but options know best. SNDK about to hit new all-time highs. MU making new all-time highs again. Google's trying to make its way up to highs of day. Ten-year yield is still up about 1/3%. It's pretty choppy too. Not much movement. Jumped up a little bit, but right back down basically where it started. About where it started the day. I'll be back in 1 minute. All right. Call sheet update. He still hasn't said anything. It's dwindling. All he had to do was say one of those 5 things and not say balance of risk. That's all he had to do. He's just not doing it. S&P, little bounce back up to the very peak of what price hit after the data announcement. So we've got about 50 minutes before the end of the day. Still going to wait before I do any earnings trades. We have not moved yet. I think we still have a little move. Up almost $1,000 on that vertical. Up about 37%. Let's get a big rip. Big ripper. He's getting a gold and silver question.
The argument can be made it's that we're losing credibility or something. It's simply not the case. If you look at where inflation expectations are, our credibility is right where it needs to be. So we look at those things. We don't get spun up over particular asset price changes, although we do monitor them, of course.
He didn't say gold though.
Hi, Nicole Goodkind Barons. Some prominent critics have charged that the Fed's economic models are somewhat backward-looking, but should be more forward-looking, incorporating things like productivity increases from AI. How do you incorporate future developments into your analysis and decision-making, and do you have an answer to this for us?
Yeah, so all of those criticisms, that's some of the insight that does not make sense.
Yeah, AI was one of the words. Did he say it? That was a low probability one.
And it can identify what are the relationships between variables A, B, C, D, and all that kind of thing. And it can tell you if you change one of those variables, this is what should happen in the macroeconomy. That's just the way it works. However, the structure of the macroeconomy is constantly changing. For example, we had a pandemic in 100 years.
Oh, we just said pandemic. That was one.
A trade war of this scope.
Trade war. That was there too. All right, stay on the roll, JP. Say some of mine now.
Technological developments that raise potential output. Sometimes revolution, like happened in the 90s here, and like maybe happening now with AI.
He just said AI. He just rattled off 3 of them in about 60 seconds. I didn't have any of them. SPX coming back down into its chop zone.
Just a quick follow-up. We've been talking a lot about tariffs in the past year. We've been talking a lot about them for the past few months. You know, the trade landscape is still in a constant state of flux. Announcements, threats, negotiations are all frequently changing. So I'm wondering how you actually
Can't believe he didn't drop a median or a volatility.
most critical to all of this real time. Yeah, the impact of tariffs and how they're changing.
Yeah, I think our staff has done a really nice job on that, and they kind of put it together in real time. So as I mentioned, tariff gets put in place. You can
Just said tariff.
effects on pricing and everything, and so you build a model up from all of the tariffs. At the beginning, it was very much of a forecast. Now it's every cycle that goes by, it becomes more informed by actual data. And yeah, our forecasts were not far off. What changed was, as I think I said earlier, what was implemented was smaller than what was announced. In addition, we didn't see retaliation internationally, and I think people could generally expect that because we saw that in the past.
30 delta, it'd actually be about the 25 delta. It's trading for about 450. Those things would be getting killed if entered 5 minutes after the presser like we used to. Two Elmos? Very nice. Oh, he's done. I lost. My Kalshi portfolio lost. All right. Well, that was fun. There's the lesson, kids. Don't risk 60% of your portfolio before you paper trade. Should have paper traded. You're right, Elliot. Everything just went to 1 cent. All right. Now I need a push. Need a bounce. That would help. MU still pushing new all-time highs. AMD starting to bounce. Goog still working its way up towards highs. What a boring FOMC. Zero action. I mean, boring, kind of good, but not the action. Not the place for action if that's what you were looking for. Yeah, I should have just taken these creens off my screen, but let's just take one more peek. My original one this morning would be now in the green, up about $1,000. My late one would be nice and juicy, up about 5K. Okay, I'm going to delete them now. Just had to let myself know how much I missed out on. Got about 40 minutes until the bell. I'd like to take some of these verticals off if we can get one more little bounce, but just didn't get any follow through. What was your entry price, Elliot? $60 something? 64. That's nice. That's nice. All right, I'm going to go in for a, let's start with Meta. Expected move in Meta is about 44. It's currently trading at 672. I'll do something like this in Meta. Stock's still trying to bounce. Oh, got filled Filled at 399 on that meta. And I'll give it a little bit. Then I'll do the Tesla and Microsoft one as well. S&P just can't push through. PLTR going through lows. SMCI going through lows. MU still pushing highs. Goog pushing up to highs. Goldman Sachs is up to its highs of day. MSTR near its lows. Robinhood at lows. Oh, VWAP got me again. Darn it. I got to get that VWAP on my screen, I guess. SPX just cannot break through that data high. NVIDIA kind of chopping. It's just been really choppy all day, but chopping just below its highs of day. Stay green, S&P, stay green. Steve Leisman's lazy eye. It's really hurting today. It's a little worse than normal. Looks like he needs some eye drops. Making my eyes water. By the way, I've got that Meta swing trade that I put on yesterday. It's right at break even, so I'm going to close that one before the bell today as well. Just waiting to see if we get a little bounce. SPX going back in the red. VIX perking its head up a little bit. $30 minutes till the bell. SPX just below 80. If I look at the 80 butterfly, it's trading for right around $1. No, maybe less. 85 cents. Yeah, it's kind of jumping around. Yeah, somewhere between 80 and $1, it looks like. Well, good pass on the long strangle so far anyway. That original one that I priced out at $9 is trading for under 2. The next one I set up that was trading for over 7 at the time is trading for about 260. Yeah, silver new print up 9%. Getting close to rolling up puts again on SLV and the wheel portfolio. Not quite there yet. Hood's a little bit red today. Bitcoin pretty much unchanged. Nebius is up about 2.6%. Netflix a little bit red. But the position's still green. Rivian, another red day. SLV, and then UNG is just a little bit down today. Tesla dipping. Yeah, PLTR lows of day. S&P still dipping into the red, back into that consolidation area that we've been in all afternoon. VIX trying to pop up a little bit. All right, so Tesla earnings fly. Tesla's got an expected move of about 24, 25 bucks. Currently trading at 432, 433. That's what I'll do in Tezzy. Need to get filled for under 250 if I'm going to have no risk to the upside. Elliot, you're still holding your cream? Well, still holding? Trying to squeeze more? 92. All right, filled on my Tesla at 244. Got about 22 minutes till the bell. I'm going to give my vertical until MOC. I'm not going to hold it through MOC. Softy, 25-point expected move. It's currently trading at 479. Try to get filled at 242. Filled at 242. All right, got about 9 minutes till MOC. The 75 butterfly is still just trading for barely over $1. So most likely not going to try to scalp. I'll just wait for a, see if I can get in at $2 a little bit later. SPX is not bouncing for me. Kind of at my limit that I wanted to risk on that vertical. Give it another minute or two. All right, just closed my Meta and my Tesla swing trades. Now I got to close this SPX vertical. Got less than 5 minutes till MOC. Turn on my juice audio. VIX still creeping higher. 75 butterfly is still trading around $1.20, 25 maybe. Three minutes till MOC. All right, closing my vertical. All right. Only thing left to do today is Mr. Mahomes, if I can get filled. $80 fly, yeah, still about $1.20. It's right in between strikes. All right, it's getting up there. I'm gonna, for a scalp, it's creeping up towards 80. See if I can get filled for $1.40 before MOC. If not, I'll just cancel. Nope, going back down. I'm gonna cancel. Oh boy, we're falling through the floor now. Chris just said we're going up. $1 billion sell side. Little dip. Bounce back up to 76. Getting close to back up to 80. $80 fly, getting close to $1.60 maybe. Holding out for a hundy. Yeah, you're getting a little bounce now. I'm going to put an order in at $2 for the 80 fly. Right back to 80. Looks like it's trading for about $1.70 right now. Gonna need to sit on 80 for a minute to get filled. Got about 7 minutes to go. Sitting at 80. Still no fill though. Getting close. Looks like it's maybe at $1.90. SPX up to 82. The 85 fly is starting to get up there. That 80 fly should be filling. Filled on the 80s. $2. No scalp, just letting it ride. Meta did dump through lows, but now it's bouncing. Microsoft bouncing. SPX up to 83. Right at my break even. I need above 85 for max profit. Four minutes. PLTR still pushing new lows. It's down 5% on the day. You got it, Elliot. You got it. You got it. 3 minutes, SPX sitting around 82. Man, it just cannot break above that data high. Still sitting at 82. Coming up on the 2-minute warning. Microsoft is pushing, just pushed above previous day high. Tesla dipping down towards lows. SPX just hovering near that 82.5. I bet that crane is really spready right now. 3-to-1 ratio going into the last minute. SPX up to 83. 1 minute to go. Filled at 99.15. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm sorry you didn't get your 100, but that's pretty good. Mahomes is right at break even. I need a 2-point push here in the next 30 seconds. And it's dipping back to 80. 15 seconds. Need to move away from 80. Down to 76. A little mark down into the close. Then a mark up. It looked like it was going to get out of the valley to the downside, but marked up. A little bit of a loss. 69.78.06. 69.78.06 is the final. All right, all. We got Meta. We got Microsoft. We got Tesla after the bell. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll be streaming live for the day trading at the opening bell tomorrow, and then we'll be back for our normally scheduled power hour tomorrow. Take care, all. Have a good night.